Hello, Virgo. Thank you very much for tuning into this week's read. For the main part of the read, I'm using The Witch's Tarot by Ellen Dugan. Supportive oracle cards are Chakra Wisdom Oracle cards by Tori Hartman, illustrated by Gretchen. There's her last name. This is Virgo. Virgo. I do have some face down cards, but I don't think they need to be, or do they? Well, let's start with what we have. Maybe they're face down for a reason. You're heading, okay. You're setting, what are we? You're gonna start a whole new quest soon. I see that's where you're going, but how are you getting there is a good question. I almost feel like somebody's pushing you a little bit. You get insecurities with faith is what's starting off here. I feel like somebody left you high and dry. This is starting off, like the base of this is somebody just kind of like walking away. Because they got the Eight of Cups here, and the outside or on the other side, the influence in the environment. Like things were going well. Things were going well, and I feel like faith makes me feel like you didn't believe this at first. Somebody just kind of like picked up and left, and things were going well, and you're just like, why did they leave? Like they just picked up and left. They just went. They're just, I'm done. Gotta go. Even if it took a couple months to make that actually happening, for some of you, somebody, like it was the end of a relationship, but if that's the case, it's like you were happy, and you thought they were too, and then they're like, well, I'm not going to do this anymore. I don't want to do this anymore. It wasn't bad, but it's just like they walked away, and you're just kind of like, what? Like bewilderment is a big word here. But the faith with insecurity is like, you felt like you could depend on that, and it just kind of turned about face on you, and you're like, I don't understand why. And you still look back in the past, and you're like, it still doesn't make sense to you. I thought we were happy. I thought everything was good. It doesn't have to be a romantic thing, by the way. It could have been like one of those things where you kind of got laid off from a job, and you're like, there was no warning. It just kind of happened, and you're just like, I don't even understand why that happened. Faith is here saying, I guess it was for the best. It's kind of like that's how you're coming from, like, I guess it was for the best. But insecurity is kind of like, how come I didn't see this coming? How come I didn't see the red flags? Why didn't I know it was happening? So it's basically something ended, and you were just kind of a little bit bewildered by it, is what I'm getting. And you kept looking for answers, and I don't feel like you found them, though. Well, I shouldn't say that. It's the Hermit card. It's kind of like you realized that what was going on around you, you just weren't aware of everything happening. There probably was some signs, but you weren't picking up on them. So it's like after the fact, you kind of figured it out, kind of. But it wasn't really, it didn't make you comfortable, is what I'm getting. It didn't make you feel like everything is okay. Excuse me. The nose is not my friend today. Sorry. So that's what we're starting off from. It's going into an interesting place, but we'll see. So what comes in next? A repeat. And a whiny dog. Oh, somebody outside. Sorry. Farrell! Somebody outside, so he's all trying to get their attention. I get a repeat coming. Isolation with the Eight of Wands. I feel like the same, not the exact same thing, but something similar is happening again. And it's making you wonder, like, how could this happen to me again? How did this happen to me again? How did I not see this coming? Because it seems like it's popping out. To you, it's just kind of like it's coming out of the blue. Like, this is happening again. This happened to me once. This is happening to me again. Farrell! Farrell! My uncle's outside. He wants to play with him. This is... Yep. Farrell! Yeah, I know. Come here. Come here. Farrell, come here. Farrell. Okay. Sorry about that. In this situation, the balance in the outside is telling me like things. Like, it's like you're not seeing what's happening around you. I'm so sorry about the dog. One moment. So, in the environment, you have balance coming in. Even though this is out of the blue to you, I'm feeling like there's signs here that you're not picking up on, which seems very interesting to me because you're desperately trying to see them. You want to know these signs. You don't want to be caught off guard. You want to know what's going on and why this is happening. It's happening again, though. Again, it seems to you like out of the blue. It just kind of like pops out, happens again. Somebody just kind of walks away. It doesn't seem like it's that bad to begin with. And you're like, why is this happening to me again? All right, we got 2 face down cards. Well, the balance was face down too, because it tells me you're not seeing the balance, but you're trying to. You're actively, really trying to look in between the lines here. Face down, you got release and soulmate here, which the soulmate card in this deck is very peculiar. But what I'm getting here is kind of like, whatever this situation is, I feel like you're getting frustrated with it. Getting very frustrated here. Whether it's romantic or not, I feel like things just, they come and they go. They come in out of the blue, they leave out of the blue too. You got the Knight of Wands in your, where's the brain? Like somebody else is coming towards you again. Like another opportunity is coming towards you again, really quick. But the thing is with the Knight of Wands is like, you're heading towards a third installment of this same situation. And the question is, how are you supposed to avoid this? Because I feel like it's coming around again. This at least to be the third time coming up. And I feel like you're getting very frustrated, and you're starting to expect it at this point, though. You're starting to expect it is what I'm getting with this. Somebody's going to come in, they're going to hang out for a while, then they're just going to leave out of the blue again. And you're like, why is this happening? What am I doing? How am I attracting this? How is this coming to me? How do I stop it from happening? This is okay. Despondence with the 8 of Swords, it's kind of like, the next one is like, it's happening again, but there's a similarity between these 3 situations. There has to be. You got Discovery, Quest, and you got the Chariot is what's ending this for you. Whatever this situation is, I feel like there needs to be a change. Like, you need a break for a while. You need to step back and you need to kind of take a minute just to kind of figure out, why is this happening? Because this is a general read, and it's hard to say, why is this happening? You know what I mean? It's hard to figure out what, because it's general. I mean, it's specific to you. Just giving a general answer, I don't feel like is really going to help. You get Discovery with Quest with Chariot. Like, something isn't right here. This situation that keeps happening, this is like a cycle, is what I'm getting. And it's like, if you don't like this cycle, which I'm getting very strongly that you don't, with the contemplation and the release and the insecurity, I don't feel like you like this at all. To stop it, you got to step back and you got to find a different way of handling it. You got to figure out what's going on here, because this cycle can stop. That's another trap I feel like people fall into. It's kind of like, well, this just happens in my life. There's nothing I can do about it. It just happens. This cycle is being pointed out to you so you can stop it. There is a way to stop it, but they're saying you have to step back, take a break, and start realizing what you're getting into. Why does it feel right? And what are maybe some red flags that are from the very beginning? Especially because I feel like this third one's going to happen. I do. After this third situation happens, you might want to journal everything you can remember about each of them. So in other words, especially after this third one, how did you meet this person? And maybe journal, how did you meet the first one? How did you meet the second one? All right, and then what did this third one say to you that made you think that things were going to be okay? What did the first one do that made you feel the same way? What did the second one do that made you feel the same way? And just keep going through them, because I feel like they're saying the answer is there, and you can stop this cycle. This is about stopping the cycle. It's going to happen again, but they're saying when this next time happens, at least, identify what it is and start researching it and figuring out what is the feeling, what is the behavior. I mean, I know somebody who used to like they used to find people. They used to find what I call fixer-upper people. They used to be constantly attracted to people who had problems, and then they'd wonder why their marriages would fail. And I'd be like, well, you found them broken to begin with. Like it's like trying to have a tea party with broken dishes. Like, and then you're expecting things to go perfectly when you're started off with broken dishes to start with. Like realizing that you're attracted to broken dishes, that might be the first thing. And then realizing, wait a minute, maybe I don't need a tea party to begin with. Maybe I need something altogether different. Maybe I need to have like a little birthday party instead of a tea party. Maybe I need to change my whole motif on this whole situation. But I feel like that's a big thing, though. I hope I made sense with that, because like there's a person I know. They were attracted. I think they still are a little bit, but they're better at it. Like they would be romantically attracted to people who needed their help, and I'm like, you're starting off with people who are already in problems, or knee deep in problems to begin with. Like, I don't understand why you think you go into a good phase when you're purposely finding people in a bad phase. Like it's like their thing. Like you got to figure out what it is that you're connected to or what you're attracted to. Once you start figuring out what you're attracted to and what's pulling you towards this situation, this type of situation, then you can start to recognize it before it actually gets that far. And then once you get that part where you're like, well, I don't want that, so I'm not going to go towards that. Then you can start identifying, wait a minute, what are the good situations I should be attracted to, and why am I not? Or why am I not giving those situations a chance? That type of thing. I feel like this is like all identifying the pattern so you can stop it. I feel like this is what this whole thing is about. Realizing it's a pattern, realizing there's something that's attracting you to it, and then identifying it after after this third one, or how many times, looking at all the similarities and like wait a minute, what is it that pulls me towards this? What is it that gets me hooked into this, and how do I get so deep into it? And then backing out from there and like reconstructing it from there. All right. I hope that helps. Thank you for watching. I'm going to shut this down here. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James, the number 4, astral@gmail.com. Thank you.